Hey guys, this is AP StarCraft coming at you with another video commentary. In this game, I'll be pitting my blue Zerg in the bottom left corner versus my opponent's red Protoss in the top right corner. My opponent's name is E. Porgorg, and this will be another good Zerg versus Protoss matchup that I wanted to show you guys. And in order to attempt to help you guys, any Zerg players over there that are having trouble versus Protoss, with a little bit of a strategy that I have been finding to work fairly well against the Protoss players. Right now I'm going for a standard build. Normally against Protoss I go 15 extractor, 14 pull, sending my 9th drone out to go scout out my opponent's base. When you want to scout your opponent's base depends on whether or not the player map is a big map or if it's like a 2-player map, and other reasons as well. Let me open up my production tab over here in case any of you guys want to keep an eye on that. See what my opponent is doing. My opponent is about to send out his own scout. And an important thing to look at when you're versus a Protoss player is to check his Vespene geysers. If he doesn't have any Vespene assimilators on his Vespene geysers, there's a good chance that he might be going for a strong, hard, fast Zealot push. And if he goes that route, you're gonna have to play a completely different game as opposed to if he goes a normal assimilator is put down on each geyser. The scout is just reaching my base. I'm sending him a welcoming committee of my drone over here. Have my extractor put up, and I put up my other spawning pool. I stole his gas over here, and that's a neat little trick that I enjoy doing because it slows down any cheese that he might be able to pull off, such as fast air. I am collecting gas with 3 of my drones in order to gain enough Vespene gas so that I could get my metabolic boost, which is basically a necessity, a necessary upgrade that you need if you're going to be using Zerglings. And in this game, I'm obviously planning to make use of Zerglings, unless perhaps if he goes fast air. But since I stole this extractor over here, put up an extractor over here and stole his gas, it makes it less likely that he's going to go for a fast air. Got a couple of lings out right now. Got some more lings in queue, and I'm going to send them out to attempt to destroy this probe over here that's running around my base, keeping a good scout. My opponent's putting up another gateway, and he has a cybernetic core up already. Looks like he might be going with a 3 gateway push plus cybernetics core, as opposed to the dreaded 4 gateway push. The difference usually is that with a 3 gateway push, they usually put in what is that called, robotics facility eventually up, and they'll either go Colossi or they'll go with immortals. Looks like I was able to kill that probe over there. I'm setting my lings up to go scout his base, and I think, yep, I see these guys over here, so I know what strategy he's going to go for, and that once again alters the strategy I'm going to be using. I accidentally allowed the extractor to get finished over here. I shouldn't have allowed that to happen. I should have just kept canceling it, but it got cancelled. But it looks like it did its job. It got a little bit of a scout out and was able to make sure that he's not going to go with some kind of cheesy build or limit any kind of fast colossi too. Let's see what I have right now. Got more lings on the way, more drones, production. I'm taking my expansion over here. This is another thing that I do over here. After I put up my hatchery over here, I queue up a queen, and then after I get my queen, I'm going to try to mutate to a layer. There we go. If I don't do that, it's usually due to a mistake, a deep mistake. I have one queen put up a creep tomb over here, and then walk on over here, and I keep another queen over here to keep injecting. And you want to keep an eye on how many units he got when he's about to get ready to push off. And there we go, there's the robotics facility. Anyway, as I was saying, you want to keep an eye. Essentially still killing my extractor over here very slowly. Ultra slowly. As I was saying, you want to keep an eye on how many troops that he has, because you want to know how many troops you should have at that moment. Because if you wait till he gets to your base to start making the troops, there's a chance that you just might not be able to make enough Zerglings or whatever to counter him. So you want to keep somewhat of a proximity amount of troops that you have to him, while at the same time, since he is at one base, you will want to try to out-economy him. Right now it's 25 to 25, so I'm not out-economying him at the moment. I'm putting a couple of spine crawlers up at the moment because I noticed that he is going with this 3 gateway. I wasn't sure if it was a 4 gateway or a robotics facility push, but regardless, the result would be the same. I'm putting up this spire. Mutalisks I've been finding is very effective versus the Protoss, unless let me restate that. It's very effective against the Protoss because, looks like my opponent is sending out a scout. It's very effective against Protoss because Lings get pretty messed up by the Zealots, and Thors mess up, not Thors, Immortals rather, really destroy Roaches, and Colossi really destroy Hydralisks, so they're all pretty hard countered. Zealots don't really hard counter Zerglings, but if they're able to get in a good position, they do very well against Zerglings. So all those units get hard countered by some unit that the Protoss have. But the Mutalisks, I mean the Sentry, you would think the Stalkers would hard counter the Mutalisks, but they really don't do that great against Mutalisks until they get Blink. And as you can see, it's a good reason why I put up these these spine crawlers. Let's see, army wise, he outnumbers me by a significant amount, but these spine crawlers are such a good investment, so much better, so much stronger than your individual units can be doing. Pulling in my other queen in order to try to help out, and I was able to kill all the Zealots and go kill his Stalkers over here. Anyway, as I was saying, you would imagine that Stalkers would do good against Mutalisks, and they do a pretty decent job, but they're not really all that great until they get Blink. And with Zerglings plus Mutalisks, you'll be able to do very well against the Stalkers. So unless he has Phoenixes, there's not much that there's no reason not to go Mutalisk. I have my Spire up right now. Let's see if I'm queuing them up. Production. Well, I'm not queuing them up at this moment, but I have a lot of resources, but I don't have a lot of larvae right now. It looks like my one queen got killed, and I had pulled them out to help my forces, so I wasn't able to inject in that time. And I'm building other queens to start injecting again. So anyway, the Mutalisks, unless they have Phoenixes, or if they start off early in the game with Phoenixes, with a fast Phoenix rush, Mutalisks is definitely, I think, a very good option versus Protoss players. And even if he builds the Phoenixes at some point, you can still have your Mutalisks, just not have it as the main portion of your army. Have it as a good raiding force, and build up your Hydralisk in order to counter the Phoenixes that he has. And if he starts getting weak on the Phoenixes, he starts not building as many, you can start building more Mutalisks. Let's see. And these Mortals does a lot of damage to the spine crawlers. Very good, strong damage. As you can see, I'm target firing his Stalkers with my Mutalisks, and they're doing a very good job. Mopped up his Stalkers. I was running that Mutalisk away, but I wasn't able to run far enough and got killed. He has a Warp Prism over here. I'm destroying it, and it's done. Let's see how our income compares right now. Still even, surprisingly enough. Unit loss, but I've lost a lot less units than he has. He's lost about double, and now my harvester count is pulling ahead of his. Looks like he's building up a forge, trying to get some defense against the Mutalisks that he saw. I decided to take down the forge so that he will not be able to build those photon cannons. And he does not cancel it in time. So that was some additional resource losses, and now 39 harvesters versus my opponent's 30 harvesters. And he's building other forge over here. And looks like he's going to hard Stalkers right now. I'm going with a lot of Stalkers in an attempt to counter my Mutalisks, but that's not really the best option, honestly, because with my Ling army, I should be able to do fairly well against a pure Stalker army, which just seems to be mostly made out of. I mean, his Stalkers are fairly fast, but my Mutalisks definitely got the maneuverability on his Stalkers, able to go through cliffs and stuff, which he's not going to be able to do until he gets Blink. Ooh, and missed micro over there. I got a bunch of my Mutalisks killed right there. Let's see how our unit lost now. Still, I still have the vast advantage, the big advantage on my opponent in terms of unit lost, and I have the advantage on income as well. So it's not looking good for my opponent at this moment. Let's see what my opponent's making. He has a lot of resources at the moment. I'm not sure why he's not making additional units, making an additional observer, and now he's warping in a couple of Stalkers. Oh, let's back that up. My opponent's coming into my base right now, but I have an army of Lings waiting for him. He pulls him back, good idea too, so that I can't get a complete surround on him. But with my Zerglings and my Mutalisk, he's not going to be able to win against this force. See how the army is. And I have a stronger army than he does. So a good game to my opponent at Porgorg. And this is a strategy that you should keep in mind when facing Protoss players, going out with a strong warp gate build plus robotics facility in this case. What you will need is spine crawlers. Keep an eye on what his army size is, and make your army so that it's not that outmatched by his, and so that you'll be able to queue up enough units in order to take on his units by the time that he gets to your base. And play a defensive game for the most part, with having your Mutalisks or your Lings raid if you can. Only if you can, and if you won't take more losses than you will do damage to him. The Zerg really outshines the Protoss during end game when you're able to build a whole bunch of hatcheries. So there's no reason that you need to feel like you need to make a strong push against Protoss. If you come up ahead in an engagement, like you're able to kill off his invasion force, you could like test the water, see if you could push through without losing too many numbers. But the safest and the best thing you could do is stay back, take additional expansions, and use your army to defend until you're able to get your T3 units. And I was building my infestation pit, so I'll be able to go up hive soon. Alright, well, thank you for watching my commentary, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.